Right, so this is one's going to be a relatively quick video. I'm just going to do a refresh here, but basically I'm going to look at matplotlib, and I'm going to look at a few different pieces of the library because it looked like matplotlib was broken. And yeah, we are live. Okay, fine. So I'm just going to put test here as well, or hello world. I should always start the chat with a hello world because it's better. So yeah, I'll just re-say that just in case it never came out. But I'm going to look at different aspects of the matplotlib library because since we went into Python 3.12 and it has typing, one of the things was it looked a tiny bit broken, and I've discovered that there is actually a the type hinting was a little bit broken, which is a bit annoying because I like to use the IntelliSense a lot, as does many other people. So, but I discovered that, and I did have a fix for it, which was that you could explicitly type hint, and it's a shame I didn't keep that piece of code, but I will actually show it anyway because I'll have to put the fix back in. But there is actually an alternative way, and I was just in the process of testing a few bits out, so I thought it would be better to do this as a YouTube video or a live stream at least, and then people can even jump in as well. So I'm actually going to share this too. I'm going to share the live stream. There we go, and I will put now live. There we go. So that's out there. So let's continue anyway. I'll show where I've got to, which is if I pull up my stuff now, I've got this over here, which is just a general thing that I was actually talking about in a previous video, and it's kind of like how you get matplotlib running. And the matplotlib, I copied it out of one of these. I don't have the actual one open anymore, but I could sort of like browse for it. But basically, I did a copy and paste of all of the code in their demos, and there's tons and tons of demos. I'll browse through them in a bit. So here, for example, anyway, everything's got the normal IntelliSense, which is exactly the way that I like it. And one of the things is I can change these straight lines by making more points. I've turned it from 30 to 300, and we'll get a much more continuous spiral. There we go. But importantly, everything looks like this. Now, I am going to go to the next bit. So I made another block of code because I was just about to test this. So I'll do copy, and that copies all of this code here, and hopefully we get these histograms, and I don't know, presumably it's going to look like this. So I'm going to try and do that and just paste all of the code in there and see, first of all, inspect what the code actually looks like. And straight away I'm seeing this, and this is the issue that I draw with this, and this is quite nice because I've got this highlighted on both, and I had a suspicion that this might come up. Everything here is yellow, and yellow means it's kind of like being identified. And if I do, for example, ax over here, ax dot, I can see all the methods and modules that are available, which is fantastic because that's what we want to do. Like, we want to be able to see all of these things that are available. And I noticed this on much simpler plots, but it comes about from the subplot in particular, I think. And it comes about because the standard pattern, or there is a standard pattern, we'll notice this, which is in matplotlib, we've got a fig, comma, ax equals plot dot subplot, like this. And this is the pattern that I notice. And this subplot thing here, I think it's subplots at least, or plot.subplots maybe. Yeah, the subplots here, it returns a tuple, but the tuple returns a figure and an any. And, well, it neither recognizes the figure nor the any. Well, it won't recognize the any in a way that comes back from the subplots. And that's a little bit annoying because if it doesn't recognize the any, then our IntelliSense won't pick up the rest of it, and that's going to be really annoying. So, and that's literally, so here, this is a case example where it works, and I think I'm going to stick to this, which is we say that figure equals plot.figure, and then if you want to add a subplot, you add a subplot separately, so do ax equals figure dot add subplot, and I think that's kind of like a better way of addressing it. Now, when we go straight down here, I had a hunch that this was going to be the case, only because I also don't like this format of indentation, and I'll mention why. If I just go here, first of all, so it goes over the 80 line limits. And if you are going to indent, surely it makes sense from indenting from where you first open up the bracket. So that will be a much cleaner indentation. And then if you wanted to indent, or if you wanted to, like, you know, break the lines up even further, you'll do it like this. I just think that's cleaner. So yeah, why indents or like and have multiple tabs going in? Again, the same thing here. Surely my indentation, if I'm going to, or splitting up multiple lines, shall I say, surely if I'm going to do the multiple lines split up, I should do it like this because it's a bit more logical. Now, I presume if this one doesn't split onto multiple, that's kind of like a more logical split of lines. So that's the procedure that I'm going to adopt. But anyway, apart from that, I'm going to assume, even before I hover over it, but I reckon that we're going to get this, is that something like, we don't even have it. Oh, we do. Here's the actual pattern. And this is the bit that's broken, which is fig.axis equals plot.subplots. And we get this any that comes straight back. And therefore, the stairs isn't recognized. And I know that it's not recognized because my linter would color code it and turn it yellow if it was, and it's off color code white. And basically, well, I think I can fix this actually in here, and it's a bit annoying because basically I think we have to do something like, or I have to do something like this, which is import, right? And I wonder if the fig works as well, although we aren't calling the fig anywhere explicitly, but I can do it like this, from matplotlib, or I think that'll be from matplotlib import or .pyplot import. Oh no, sorry, it'd be actually from matplotlib, because we're going to do this from matplotlib import, and then we are going to import figure like this if it's there. No. Okay, let's do axis if it's there. No, that one's not there either. So let me see if I can find it, because I might have asked this somewhere. I'm sure I've asked this, which is, well, I've at least done it somewhere, how to type into basically I'm just going to stick this in, because that won't be correct either. I'm going to stick this into one of the chats that I had and just see, because it's going to correct me. This is the one nice thing about using some of these chats, and it's going to give me the right way. Oh, it won't. Look, it's agreeing with me, which is terrible. So ax.axes. No, and I probably hinted wrong. So let me just start that again. So let's just do that. Oh, we've got the new chat going. Oops, wait, start new chat. There we go. There we go. Always use an AI. Ah, we're still doing the same thing. And that's in a different chat. Interesting. Okay. I'm not sure. I wonder if that works, because we need to hint it or type axis. But let's just see if that works. And okay. But then I would need to say that over here, AXS is of type axes. I wonder if that fits. No, it doesn't. No, it still doesn't do. I wonder. No, no, because it's not going to be that. So let's try import from matplotlib import, and then I would want to do figure. That doesn't actually. How about writing it? Because it actually doesn't. It should be capitalized if it was. So I wonder if that will do that. No. So I'm just going to go back in and put how to. I'm actually going to start a new chat because the chats usually. So I'm just going to go back to a new chat. So how to type hint. And I might actually do it in a Google Bard as well, just to make sure. I wonder if that's sufficient here, because I didn't have to do that last time, but let's have a look and just try and do that. Oops, don't need all that there. Okay. Import FIG. Okay, fine. That looks like it's sufficient. So that one works, right? And then over here, before we, or when we do our axes, we would have to do something like this. And this is what would get it working, which is, and you can see why this is annoying, because I don't remember it, and I only did it the other day. I'd have to go here and say it's axes, AXES, like that. And hopefully, if it works, which it hasn't done, it still hasn't recognized that stairs. So because AXS dot, all of the methods and modules do work, but maybe that's because the subplot here is actually, that's being returned, which is this any is actually a, and this is probably the reason it looks like it's a list, and therefore we don't know. So maybe I'd have to say something like axis of 0 is of type axes. I don't know if that's going to do it, but then axis 0 dot. No, the dot notation is not going to work like that. So that's either, that's a tiny bit more annoying. So I might have to say something like axis 0 is of type axes, and then something like axis 0 is, oops, axis underscore 0 is equal to axis or AXS 0. So, and this is just to get the hinting going, and but this possibly changes its type. No, it doesn't. So it's fine. And then I could do AXS underscore 0 dot, and then I could get these stairs, right? Now, and we can see that the stairs is, this stairs is yellow compared to this stairs, which is white, and then this, that's because this stairs is of type any, or like we can't see it. And this stairs we can see the entire function of what's available, and so and we get the hinting and stuff, and so like it's better. It just works better. It's more convenient. So I never want to be doing this. I know that this works, all of this works, but I don't want to be doing this. So what I'll do is I'll comment this out for now, like just to show that it does work. So you know, these things are kind of like grayed out at the moment, but I could actually fully comment them out. That original block of code still works. It's just that we can't use the IntelliSense the way that we want. So there we go. That's fine, and we were able to get everything. But in order to get the IntelliSense, I think there was possibly a better way, which is basically something like replicate this, do a figure, and then add a subplot. So I wonder if it's possible to do it with this example. But one thing that we'd be breaking the example basically, but we would say something like figure equals plot dot figure, and then going back to the above over here, we would need to say that where is it, ax, yeah, ax equals figure dot add subplots, right? And I'll have to comment some of that stuff out, I guess. But basically be something like this, and then I don't know even if this will work, but it'll be something like add this subplot like that, and that's a way of getting a subplot. And then if we wanted to add another subplot, you would have to add another one, and that way it would avoid the necessity for having to do these imports up here and then this type hinting afterwards for what an ax is and what a figure is. So it's just really if you want to use the type hinting or not. Now I don't know if I could fully or not replicate that. But yeah, it's kind of like, I'm going to call it a mini break or something, an annoyance in the matplotlib library, because basically this subplots is always just going to return this anything, and then everything, all of these axes, unless you've type hinted for what the axis is going to fail. But also I've discovered here that not only like once you've typed hinted for the axes, so I had to do from import matplotlib, wherever it is, matplotlib dot pi, or was it axes? Axes, or axis, I think, has axis. I can't even remember what it was now. Let me do a few Control Z's to get it back. I wonder how many Control Z's I can do. There we go, got it back. Right, yeah, AXES, not AXIS. So that was what the error was. But basically, I'd have to do this basically. So I've got to go along and do that, and I'd have to do this. So I'd have to do the type hinting, which I guess I didn't like. So I'd have to put that type hinting straight back, and I'd have to go here, and I have to do ax colon axis, and that's the way that I could get the IntelliSense working in my linter. And I'm probably sure that this isn't just going to be a VS Code error, but it's going to be an error in any of like the PyCharms or any of those other linters, because they're going to look for the types, and if it's of type any, it won't know what to do, because why would it know what to do? It doesn't know what type it is. So a little break in the matplotlib at least for that thing. Now I'm going to comment these out just in case I forget them again. It's probably safer to comment them out sometimes, at least for the purpose of the video. But yeah, this plot does work, is the answer to all of that. It's just a little bit of an annoyance. But can I add a subplot like this? So if I didn't have a fig and ax, so now I've done that, can I add a subplot this way? Now axis underscore axis 0 doesn't work, but axis probably should work, although it doesn't. But so ax. And maybe I would have had to call it ax 0 and ax 1 or whatever, but that one, well, it still actually doesn't work, dot subplots. So maybe I'd have to be adding a subplot, and it would have to be the type of subplot, and I'd have to say stairs, so I'd probably have to get it working that way. So it's still a little bit of messing around to do. I'll leave that uncommented. I won't put the interruption in here, but that's an example of it not being great. But I'll try and go to an easier example now, so just verify that this is still running. It's all working, I haven't broken the code. I'll go to another one of those on matplotlib. So let's just go to a, so go back. There we go. And so like, I'll try to scroll up to the top, because I would have, like the example, I know you might have taken one of these first examples, and I think the example that I took was something like this initially. And this is plotting out a bar chart, and we can see the same fig comma at equals plot dot subplots. And I think I can address it a little bit better now, because I can go into here and create a new little block of code and do the fig dot x. Now, can I? So this is where the type hinting sort of like maybe it'll be a little bit better because it's a bit cleaner. So on here, one of my options was exactly to do this. Now it's a little bit cleaner because I've only got one axe here, so I don't have axe. It's sort of like as an array of things. So I can do from matplotlib.axes import axes and then import figure. In fact, I probably didn't even need to do the figure once. I could keep it a tiny bit lighter just because I'm not using fig anywhere. But over here, then I could just do an axe and say it's of type axis like this. And that would be working. Now everything turned from white into yellow. So if I comment that one out, we see that all of these things here, and what I'm talking about is these lines over here, these keywords in particular, set label, set title, legend, bar. We're going to see that when I uncomment this, so the minute I uncomment it, these all turn from white to yellow. So I'll comment it back. You can sort of like see them flipping from white to yellow as I comment them and uncomment them. So all of a sudden now, when we've done that, we've said it's of type axis, and then we can get all of its methods and attributes, which is what we want to do. But when it's uncommented, or when we don't know when Python doesn't know what type it is because it's returned back a type of any, if we are to do our axe and our dot, it doesn't recognize it. So we just need to be a bit careful, I guess, how and where we do our subplots in Python. And I'm going to always avoid doing, so when I copy out this boilerplate code, and if I'm doing code in the future, I'm going to either do the top method here, which is do fig equals plot.figure, and then axe equals plot.add subplots, and then sort of like tell it what plot that I want. And I think here we say it's a projection plot, which I presume down here I would need to go, so I probably need to do the same. I wonder even on that one, like what we need to do, but add subplots. Projection equals polar. I wonder if on the subplots over here, I could do something like, no, I can't do projection. Maybe I can. No, I'd have to look up how the subplots actually works. So I could sort of figure it out, or maybe I'd go into a Bard or a Google Bard or a Claude AI and pull out the answer, like how to do it. But I'd engineer or prompt hint to do it using the above method, which is this fig equals plot.figure equals fig equals plot dot add subplot. So something like I'll do copy. I'll just say using this method, and then this, and then maybe I'll add a little extra line of code in there as well. So something like this. But then I would add a subplot. I would actually then do what sort of plot are we adding? Create a histogram. So I'll do something like then go make a. That would kind of like sufficiently. I think that might do it. Let's have a look, see what it does. It's actually done the import axis, but that's because maybe sometimes you have to force it into doing it the way you want. Create a figure, plot the figure, axe equals plot that. Funnily enough, it said to do that. The key steps are creating figure and axis using the figure equals plot.figure, but it actually, oh yeah, it has done. There we go. And I wonder if this will work. So let's have a look and see, because I can actually bang this straight into our code, so we can reconstruct something. So let's see. It looks like it might be working stuff, because and I wonder even if we would need to have the access, and we do here, because there's actually a little function that's used to plot the histogram here. But let's try and run it and see what happens. Yeah, we get a working piece of code, so fantastic. We need to do that. Now it's done this, it's imported, it's actually used both things here. And that is, I guess, because, yeah, in this function, if we are going to use the accessing, we are going to have to tell it what it is. Now, if it was outside of that axis, so if we weren't doing that, we could probably because you could probably just get away with that. So I'll just do that here. We could move our axis out of that, so we now don't have to say what axis anymore. We could then remove our plot histogram because we comment it out because we're not going to call this function anymore. We can actually test this out now. So it works exactly in the same way. This is now all redundant, so we didn't need to have to create a function. And now we can do this in a very convenient way. So here we are, we don't need the axis, and this is how it works. So you can sort of like engineer and iterate towards it and get the right answer, but I wouldn't any longer. So if I was going to do a histogram and I was going to use the fig and ax to do it with the fig and ax way because I wanted to make it as a subplot, and then if I wanted to do other further subplots, I might go about doing it this way, and that saves me from having to do the type hinting. So I'll probably leave it there. If anyone's got any comments or yeah, any comments or suggestions or anything beyond that, like how to use matplotlib or what you do or what you don't do. And I'm only really referring to this library because there's other libraries like plotly, for example. But if anyone's got any comments on this thing or what you want to do or questions or so forth for the type print, do you prefer the type printing, or is it easier to type in, or is it easier to split them out so that you don't actually have to type in and that you get the automatic? Because this way here is the type hinting is, or you got type inference. So what would you rather do, have type hinting or type inference? I think I prefer type inference personally myself, because the linter or the integrated development environment naturally knows what it is, and I think it's a little bit cleaner than type hinting. But you might have a preference to one or the other, but one way or another, I'm going to say that both are definitely better than not knowing what your type actually is and running along with an any type. I don't like that at all. Use it like where you are. But you might have a view on that. You might think that using the boilerplate code is better, in sticking and having the any and living with it is perfectly fine, and that's the way to do it. So it'll be interesting to see your comments on that. By the way, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button, the likes button, the follow button and subscribe button, and even if you don't, still hit the like button, the follow button, and subscribe button, and all the other buttons to follow and subscribe and share. And that's it. I'm going to sign off, so have a good one. That's matplotlib, and fixing it a little bit, fixing the any component of matplotlib.